Hey folks, it's Vic Noble here with your weekly trade example for the week ending September the 13th of 2013, Friday the 13th. Ooh, spooky. Now, I'm going to start off just show you a quick trade example here, just to show you kind of basically how we look at things. And this is the daily chart of the British pound US dollar today, Friday the 13th. And this has been a real strong uptrend. The daily trend bias is up the way that we measure it and so on. These lines in here are support resistance lines that I use. They are they're areas of prior reactions, and I'm just looking to see basically, hey, if it was support here before and it breaks below it, is it going to be resistance next time it hits it? No, it went straight through. Just because you hit a support or resistance line does not mean you buy or sell. You'll lose money doing that, obviously. But when price used to be, resistance, and it touches it, we'll look to see, hey, is there a pattern setting up? Is there candle action that would confirm a rally? And today we broke through this level here, and you might think, you're hitting up against this resistance. You're going to be here. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. That you might be looking to sell up here. Well, no, because price came down to support. We're in a daily trend bias that's up. We got a hammer happening here, and we actually had a really nice long signal in here, pattern number 6 in our Recurring Forex Patterns course, right there, and right down by the figure. This is a really good buy level in here. There were some numbers coming out. The risk was well out of the trade before the numbers were released, and this was a perfect buy setup. So like I say, just because you see a resistance level marked certainly doesn't mean that we're going to be necessarily trading off of that level. So anyway, and this was also, by the way, a perfect 30-minute MOF trade. We teach slingshots and MOFs in the Coach's Corner. They are just a great way to confirm the patterns that we teach in the RFP course. So we'll look for the pattern first, and we'll see if it's confirmed by a slingshot or a MOF, and if they are, that is just a dynamite trade. And of course, this turned out to be a great trade. Actually, this trade here, we only had like 10 pips of risk in this trade with the current volatilities. This trade, this is what's so nice about these kind of setups that we can teach you, is that you can end up with risk rewards of very, very high. For example, they can be this one here was made up to over 6 to 1. Now, you're going to everybody's going to handle these a little bit differently how they get out. Don't worry about that. The point is that they are very, very good reward risk trades. You can build your account very quickly doing this. Now, listen, as the subject line of this email says, it's all about you. Okay, how are you doing with your trading? If you find yourself still stuck and not getting things going, you just have to change what you're doing. That's a pretty obvious statement, but making the change is the hard part, right? Most people are very aversive to change. And I want to tell you a real quick story. I get an email from Bob Proctor every day. Bob Proctor is one of the leading personal development mentors out there. You might have heard of him from The Secret. And his little email is called The Insight of the Day. It's free. You can subscribe it, Insight of the Day. And it's just a little inspirational quote or a story. And today it was about how we become so conditioned to the same thing over and over because we fail to visualize what we actually want, and instead we go over and over the things that we really don't want, like playing a movie in our minds, right? And he used the analogy of how kids will watch a movie that they really like over and over and over because they really like it. I remember my own daughter watching Cinderella until the tape wore out. Adults do the same thing, but the movies that they play are of events or circumstances that are unpleasant, so they allow whatever is happening to them now to dictate how their life unfolds. Okay, and I think it's the same thing with trading. I think a lot of traders, because they've had a lousy track record, tend to relive the loss scenario, and without even thinking about it, they play that movie over and over. The alternative, of course, would be to play a movie about trading that you like, right? Which would include visualizing yourself being totally disciplined, totally focused, sticking with one thing only and mastering it, trading with patience, all this kind of thing. And of course, seeing in your mind's eye perfect trades and perfect execution and a growing account. Okay, in the Coach's Corner, one of our long-term, very successful members, Dave Deming, has been doing these visualizations every single day for almost 4 years now. His success is no accident. He's just very, very disciplined at doing this. Now, this is a lonely business. It's just you and your computer, and it can be difficult because you could be making mistakes repeatedly and not having anyone to offer you feedback or ways to stop the slide, and it just feels kind of helpless. We have, different services, the Coach's Corner, the RFP Daily Trade Review service. Getting value out of these services is how you use them. Okay, it's largely a state of mind, your attitude towards the whole thing. You have to be very focused. You got to be committed. And believe me, I'll do my share in getting you some excellent trading material that just flat out works. And it's not just me that's doing well with these setups. You'll see other people as well. So you check out the Coach's Corner and think very carefully about what you're doing now and where you're going. Even if you remember before, you can make a renewed commitment, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. Whatever happened in the past is gone, right? It doesn't matter anymore. I receive very nice emails from Coach's Corner members and members of our Recurring Forex Patterns daily trade review service all the time. Today I received 2 more, another one earlier this week, and I want you to see these for yourself, because I don't, I say this and whatever, and I asked these people if it was okay to show them, and they all said yes. And I didn't ask, by the way. I didn't ask for one of these testimonials. They were just simply sent to me, and I do want to show them to you. Just 1 second here, and they're right here. And this first one is from Brian. And he says, this is about this interview I had with Vipin last week. Vipin's another Coach's Corner member who is just, he had an 8% return on his account just yesterday. Another 2 or 3, I think 3% today. So it's pretty incredible. He says, great interview with Vipin. For me, it is exciting because I can see unbelievable changes in my own trading. My turning point came with the RFP service. Now I'm doing the LCTs again, and it's all starting to come together. By the way, if you have the RFP course, I just don't know why you wouldn't use the RFP service to make sure that you're doing the right thing. It really helps. Anyway, I am loving the Coach's Corner all over again because it is an unbelievable community of traders who all contribute to the whole, and more importantly, leave their egos at the door. I hope that sometime in the future I have something important to give back to this community. Thanks. That's from Brian. And he's been a long time Coach's Corner member. This one's from Michael. He says, good morning guys, thanks for your comments. What I found to be extremely helpful is the RFP Daily Trade Review. That's the service. For me, it has made a big difference in helped my confidence. The psychological element to trading is what I find the most difficult. I was finding that if I looked hard enough, I could always find a reason to not place the trade, fear of losing. What I started doing was to write down trades that I saw. I'm only looking at number 4 and number 6s and checking with the RFP Daily Trade Review. It really helps to hear and see that you confirm my notes. I am noticing the patterns easier now before they happen, which in turn makes me more confident in placing the trade. If this helps anyone else who's struggling, I would strongly recommend the RFP DTR Daily Trade Review along with the Coach's Corner. Keep up the great work on the RFP DTR and the Coach's Corner. And by the way, Michael sent in an awesome trade he had yesterday as well. And this is one from David. Hi Vic, hello Vic. The CC is really good with answers to a lot of questions I did not even know I had. Different people seeing things in different ways and asking different questions really speeds up learning, I think. So that's, like I say, a few people that sent these in. I sure appreciate those comments, and but like I say, they were sent in on their own. I didn't ask anybody for that, and I think that says a lot. So anyway, listen, I would love to help anybody that would be looking for that. Contact me if you want information, or you can check out the links in the body of the email. All right, so anyway, leave it at that. You guys have a great weekend, great week of trading ahead, and I will see you at the end of next week with another weekly trade example. Thanks so much.